and welcome back to the Roll Armories for another video.
Now, I'm sure most of you are already aware that the Second World War was arguably the largest and most devastating conflict to have occurred on planet Earth. In 1939, Hitler's war machine had rampaged its way throughout Europe, conquering and controlling everything in its path, and the Allied forces against him were near powerless to stop it. What made matters worse is after the mass evacuation at Dunkirk in 1940, the Allies had lost a pivotal foothold on Nazi-occupied France. It would take many years and a great deal of planning before they would be able to launch a counter-invasion. Thankfully, after a few years, due to large victories in northern Africa and Italy, as well as the Americans finally joining the war in 1942, the Allies were ready to put their plan into action. The plan was as follows. Over 156,000 soldiers that had been stationed in England during many months of training were to be shipped over to the French coast ready for invasion. This was a mixture of British, French, Canadian, American, Dutch and Polish soldiers. 7,000 warships would take them to the beaches of Normandy, which they had deemed to be the safest place to land after having successfully convinced Hitler the invasion would be taking place at Calais. Over the 50 to 60 mile stretch of land, they would establish 5 beachheads, codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno and Sword. And to make things easier for them, the night before, a further 10,000 planes would commit bombing runs along the German defences, and over 20,000 paratroopers were to be dropped behind enemy lines to knock out the German artillery. This was to be one of the largest military operations in human history. It was codenamed Operation Overlord. Today, it's more commonly referred to as D-Day. Now, some of you may be aware of D-Day, having seen it portrayed in various forms of media, big Hollywood blockbusters like Saving Private Ryan, large TV shows like Band of Brothers, and basically every single World War II video game under the sun. However, some of you may not know the true story of the soldiers fighting on that day. As you can imagine, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of accounts to choose from, and I thought it wasn't very fair to just pick one. So what I've tried to do for you today is combine several of those accounts into one singular piece to give a broader idea of what was happening, particularly on the beach of Omaha, which saw the most fierce fighting. So although the character I will be portraying is fictional, the events of the story are all 100% true. Before I begin, can I just double check, is anybody here from America? No? Good! That means I don't have to apologise for my horrendous attempt at an American accent. So, with all of that out of the way, I shall begin. So, I'm going to tell you what I did on D-Day. Where to begin? Well, I guess I can tell you about the months of training we did beforehand, or maybe about the singing and the drinking and the dancing we did in between. I'd like to hear about that. None of that matters now. 6th of June, 1944. That's what matters. We trained so hard and waited so long, and now here it was, a big day. We'd been put on those big British ships that sent out to France, and it was about 3:30 in the morning. They started kicking us out of bed and saying, "It's time to load up, time to get up on deck." Well, that's what we do. We start checking our equipment, making sure it's all working proper, making ourselves look good. Some men started dousing themselves in aftershave and shaving just to make themselves look pretty. I guess it was just the nerves, really. I remember being stood in line next to my good buddy, John Anderson. We've been through hell and back together. We've grown up together, gone to school together, even signed up together. Now here we were, about to storm the beaches together. I remember he turns around to me, and he's wearing this god-awful red necktie with polka dots on it. His mom had sent it to him for his birthday. He wasn't supposed to wear it, but what the hell were they going to do to that? He starts pulling all kinds of funny faces, making himself look like a goddamn clown. I tell you, I ain't never laughed so much in my life. No one could make me laugh like John could. Anyways, then we got the time to get into the landing craft that was actually going to take us to the beaches. Hell, that was dangerous enough as it was. We had to climb down and rig it on the side of the ship. The waves, they were so choppy, if we weren't careful, could knock into the side of the ship, cut a man in half easy. As far as I know, we all made it down safe and sound, about 30 of us in total. Just enough room for a big dinghy filled with explosives to knock out the German defenses. We set off, but not towards the beaches, mind you. We'd start doing circles around the ships. I guess they want to make sure everybody was in line, they was all together. I don't know whether it's nerves or choppy waters, but every single one of us in that craft, we were all throwing up the breakfast we had that morning. Anyway, somebody somewhere decides it's time to go, so we start heading off towards the beach. And as we do, the big guns on the British ships, they just start opening fire. Boom! 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 The noise! The goddamn noise! And the flashes! They lit us up like the 4th of July. I ain't never seen nothing like it. As they're firing these big rocket ships, they start launching hundreds, thousands of rockets towards the beaches. Boom! Boom! I look around. Every single one of us in that craft, we all got a smile on our face. Because we're all thinking the same thing. This is going to be easy. This is going to be a cakewalk. Ain't nothing going to survive that. There ain't going to be nobody left for us to fight when we get there. How wrong we was. As we start getting closer, 188mm howitzers start opening fire on us, raining down mortars around us, sending huge spurts of water straight up into the sky, slamming back down on the deck, they soak you to the bone. I look over to my left, and I see a landing craft not 100 yards away, direct hit, boom! 30 men. 1 minute they're there, the next they're gone. Just like that. Through the smoke and the fog, we start seeing these pillboxes on the horizon. As soon as we see them, they see us, and they start opening fire with machine guns, crossing the fire to get a good spread. And I'm trying to keep my head down, avoiding the mortars and the machine gun fire, and I look around and, well, nobody's smiling anymore. Once again, we're all thinking the same thing. This ain't right. Something's gone wrong. We shouldn't be up against this much defense. Some of the coxswains, guys driving the craft, they start panicking. They start letting the guys off early. We're wearing 60 pounds of equipment. You can't swim in that. These young men, young boys, just sink to the bottom of the ocean like a stone. Died for nothing. Waste a good man. Our coxswain, though, he's real good. He manages to get us nice and close on the beachhead, avoids all the obstacles, and he says to us, "Ramp going down." So we start getting ourselves ready. We're ready to storm those beaches and take it back to Jerry. That ramp goes down. First 5 men get cut in half by machine gun fire. Sends blood spraying everywhere. Now I'm the one that's panicking. And I ain't going out like that. I ain't going out the front, so I hop over the side, end up in about 3 foot of water. I take out my bar, and I aim it at one of them pillboxes, and I fire a single shot. Boom! And I tell you now, I hit that damn pillbox. To this day, I don't know why I did it. I mean, look, this is a big gun. You hit somebody with this, they're going to stay down. But against a pillbox, it ain't going to do nothing. I guess I just wanted some kind of control, you know, some kind of agency. If I was going to make it through this war, it was going to be because of my skill. And I just felt like it was going to be dumb luck. Anyways, I turned around to the craft and I noticed the dinghy, it it's still in there. Nobody's taking it, so I figure it might as well be me. So I grab on it, and I start hauling it up the beachhead, desperately trying to avoid the machine guns and the mortars. But as I'm going, it's getting heavier and heavier, and I turn around, and I see why. There's 3 bodies in it, man. 2 of them are face down. Third, he's face up, and he's barely alive. And he's holding on to his insides, desperately trying to pack him back in. And I'll never forget it. Over and over again, he's just saying to himself, "I'm coming home, Mama. I'm coming home." Anyways, I reach down to try and help him. And then suddenly, I'm flat on my back, halfway up the beachhead. The whole world has gone white. I can't hear nothing. I can't see nothing. But I know I'm bleeding from somewhere. Mortar shell. It's a direct hit on the dinghy. Blows all of our explosives and sends all of us halfway around the beachhead. So I don't know what to do. So I grab hold of my gun, put my back up against one of them tank traps, desperately trying to avoid the machine guns. And I find myself pinned down. Can't do nothing. What I do, you may think strange. I pull out a cigarette and I light up. I figured if I was going to go out, I was going to go out doing something I enjoyed. I was going to go out happy. I tell you, that was a good cigarette. Don't last long though. Sergeant comes out of nowhere, knocks it out of my hand, starts pulling on my weapon. "Get up, soldier! Get on your feet! We gotta blow the defenses! Get over to the dudes! Move!" I'm thinking, how? I'm pinned down by machine guns and mortars. I'm dead if I go. Dead again. I'm dead if I stay. So I wait. I find my moment. I got my eyes on the dudes, and then I just start running. And I tell you now, I'm a big guy. This is a big gun, but ain't nobody ran as fast as I did on that day. And I don't know whether it was dumb luck or divine intervention, I make it to the dunes unharmed. But once again, I can't see nobody, so I'm just putting my back up against the seawall. Ain't nobody around to help. The only thing I do see is just burned out tanks and landing craft, bits and pieces of what used to be men. Now the sea turned blood red. Through the smoke, I see a lone figure stumbling towards me. I can't make him out at first, but I can see he's been hit bad. The uniform is all torn and bloody. He's got an arm hanging off, and his face has been blown half to hell. And yet somehow I recognize him. Somehow I feel like I know him, but I don't know why. And then I see him. Clear as day. Torn and bloody like his uniform, but there it is. It's the goddamn red necktie. And all I want to do is just scream out, "John! John, get your head down!" Nothing comes out. I'm just stiff. I'm just frozen in place. And I'm looking into his eyes, and I can see he wants to scream too. He wants help. I watch the life drain from those eyes as he just falls to the floor. Comes another body on the beach. I'm still numb. I'm still frozen up. Can't do nothing. Then finally, something in me clicks. I ain't gonna go out like that. I ain't gonna let his death be for nothing. I'm gonna help in any way I can. So I'm searching around the beachhead, desperately trying to find anybody. Over to the left, I see they made a gap in the fences by the cliff's edge. Bunch of guys, they ain't my platoon, but I know them. So I head on over, and they say they gotta get up the cliff's edge, knock out the German guns on top. So that's what we do. And at this point, I ain't thinking. I'm letting the training kick in, because I'm just moving and firing, moving and firing, moving and and firing at any damn thing that's moving and firing back at me. It was like hours, but we managed to make it to the top. There's this huge 88 gun still shelling our boys down on the beach. At this point, low on ammo, we ain't got no explosives. But what we do have is a radio operator. His radio's still working. So I grab him and I says to him, "You need to get onto one of the destroyers off the coast. Get them to walk their shots along the cliff's edge. Take out them guns one by one." 2 minutes later, there's a huge explosion above our heads. There's rubber flying everywhere. Where that gun was, now a massive crater. More explosions across the top of the cliff. They're knocking out the guns one by one, just as I said. So we figured this is a good time to clear the area. Make sure there's no Jerry's hiding in the bunkers or the trenches nearby. But then this guy, one of ours, he comes running up to us and he says, "The Germans, they're all retreating. What's left of them, they're running away." We won. I remember looking out across the cliff on the beach down below. All I can see is just hundreds and hundreds of bodies. Bodies of men that not hours earlier I was laughing and joking with. Sure as hell didn't feel like we won. And you know, you tell yourself, it ain't going to be like this. You know, in years to come, this beach is going to be completely different. It's going to be filled with families and children all laughing and joking as we was. At the moment, it's kind of hard to imagine. Hard to feel like it was worth it. And you know, people say to me, "You guys, you're heroes. You are heroes." No, I don't think so. Guys down there on the beach, the ones who gave their lives, the ones who never again will get a chance to kiss their wives, hug their kids, say goodbye to their mama. They're the real heroes. They're the real heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The soldiers fighting on the beaches on the 6th of June 1944, despite meticulous planning and years of organisation, things did not go according to plan. A huge storm had delayed the whole operation by a full day and made it extremely difficult to safely land the soldiers on the beachheads. When they got there, they found that the German defences were still pretty much intact. The bombing runs had failed, and most of the paratroopers had dropped without their equipment, making it difficult for them to knock out those German guns. By the end of the first day, the Allies had suffered over 10,000 casualties. 4,500 lay dead on the beaches of Normandy and across the French countryside. However, the operation was still a success. It was still a victory for the Allies, and once again they were able to establish an extremely pivotal foothold in Nazi-occupied France that would allow them to push onwards throughout Europe. And after less than a year's worth of fierce fighting, by May 1945, Berlin had been captured, Hitler lay dead, and the Germans officially surrendered, bringing an end to the Second World War in the European theatre of conflict. That is also the end of my talk, so I do hope you enjoyed. I will be sticking around for a few moments if anybody has any questions, or if you want to have a closer look at any of the equipment. All I would ask is, with the gun, it's heavier than it looks, and it's also a lot more delicate than it looks. Much like myself, it's a lot more delicate, and it's also prone to jamming and being destroyed if manhandled. So please don't try and move any of the working parts yourself. Even if you yourself have fired one of these 1,000 times, stripped and cleaned it every day of your life, please don't try and do that here, because if you break it, you pay for it. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here at the museum. Thank you once again, and from myself, thank you.
Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please click on the like button below so that I know what people like and I know what to make more of. Alternatively, if you've enjoyed it, and think you'd like to see more, please click on the subscribe button. That way you get notified by YouTube whenever I bring out a new video. And you never know, there might be something in there that you hadn't considered, because I do cover a variety of things on the channel. And finally, if you have a little bit of cash going, I now have a Patreon account. I'm always looking for patrons, because at the end of the day, let's be perfectly honest, it's a good way for me to get a little bit of money that I'll use to buy review items or to travel to museums and so on. I don't put a huge amount on that. At the minute, all we've got is one tier charging £1 a month, which just, as I said, helps cover my costs. See you soon.